What will the rich nomad expats do when WW3 breaks out? I'm not trying to sound dramatic, but that question feels less like a fantasy and more like a scenario we should all prepare for. We've built these flexible, location-independent lives, the kind where we can wake up in Bali, spend a few months in Dubai, maybe winter in Cape Town or spring in Lisbon. We call it freedom, and for a long time, it's felt like that. But lately, something's shifted. You see headlines like, Iran launches 300 drones, Israel retaliates, the US is pulled in, and suddenly, it's not a regional conflict anymore. Oil prices spike, flights are grounded, embassies start sending warnings, visas get cancelled without notice, and you find yourself sitting in some quiet cafe, thousands of miles away, looking at your passport and asking a question that never crossed your mind. What happens if the world stops moving? What if you can't just book a ticket tomorrow? What if the bank freezes your funds as a precaution? What if your citizenship becomes a liability? We've always thought we were ahead of the curve. We saw where things were going in the UK or the US or wherever we came from. The taxes, the hostility towards success, the culture of scarcity. So we left. We built new lives. We felt free. But mobility without structure is still fragility. People forget, in 1939, it wasn't the poor who lost the most when things fell apart. It was the unprepared. Rich people, well-traveled people, people with options, or so they thought. Because when systems lock down, they don't send a warning, they just lock. Borders close, rules change, cards stop working. Suddenly, the flags on our passport matter again. And the question becomes, what have you actually built? Not the income, not the lifestyle, but the fallback, the exit path, the plan if the plane doesn't take off. A lot of people in this space are still playing like it's 2021, but the temperature's different now. The energy is different. You can feel it. Governments are clamping down on capital. The US could flip overnight with an election. Countries are starting to talk openly about global taxation, digital currencies, movement restrictions. It doesn't take much. One more flashpoint in the Middle East, one election swing in Europe, one cyber attack that triggers a banking panic, and the game changes. Not in theory, in real life. You won't be able to move. You won't be able to transfer. You won't be able to just opt out unless you already have. There's no fear in this, just clarity. It's easy to live in a soft bubble when things are calm, but we don't live in soft times anymore. So the next phase of this lifestyle isn't about running faster or earning more. It's about resilience. It's about having a real structure under your freedom. Not because the world will end, but because if it starts to crack, you'll be watching it from a place of safety, not scrambling for a lifeboat after the tide's already turned. That's the mindset, not panic, preparation.